I'm going to teach you how to round to the nearest 10, 100 and 1000. Awesome words. Round, nearest 10, nearest 100 and nearest 1000. Rounding numbers. To round a number, look at the digit to the right of the place position you are rounding to. If the digit is 5 or greater, you should round up. If the number is less than 5, the whole number remains the same. Rounding to the nearest 10. When we are rounding to the nearest 10, check the units place. Then apply the rounding rules. Examples. 75 rounded to the nearest 10. Remember the rounding rules. 5 or greater, round up. So our answer should be 80. 47 rounded to the nearest 10. Remember the rounding rules. 5 or greater. So 7 is greater than 5. So our answer should be 50. 24 rounded to the nearest 10. Rounding rules. 5 or less, the whole number remains the same. So our answer should be 20. Now, rounding to the nearest 100. When you are rounding to the nearest 100, check the tens place. When we are rounding to the nearest 10, we check the units place. But now, when we are rounding to the nearest 100, we are checking the tens place. After that, apply the rounding rules. Let's look at some examples. 667 rounded to the nearest 100. Now look at 67. 6 in the tens place is bigger than 5. So our answer should be 700. 456 rounded to the nearest 100. Check the rounding rules. 5 or greater, round up. So in 56, in the tens place, there is 5. So we round up. Our answer should be 500. 846 rounded to the nearest 100. Check the rounding rules. 5 or less, the number remains the same. So 4 is less than 5. So the number remains the same. So our answer should be 800. Rounding to the nearest 1000. When you're rounding to the nearest 1000, check the hundreds place. So when you are checking the 10, when we are rounding by 100, we were checking the tens place. But now we are checking the hundreds place. After that, apply the rounding rules. Some examples. 4,546 rounds to the nearest 1000. Now check 546. We are checking at 5. Today I'm going to teach you how to round the round up 10, 100 so and 1000. 5,000. Awesome word. 6,700 round 6. Nearest 10, nearest 100 and nearest 1000. The rounding rules. 5 round greater, round up. To round a number, 7 look as the digit greater than the right of the position you are rounding to. If the digit is 4,432, we should round up to the nearest 1000. If the number is less than 5, the whole number remains round the same. The number remains the same. Rounding to the nearest 10. 4 is less than 5. Rounding to the nearest 10 remains the same. So our answer should be checked the units place. Then apply the rounding rule. We have learned how to round to the nearest 10, 100, 75 rounded to the nearest 10. Remember the rounding rules. 5. Here we have a few questions to answer. So our answer should be 8. So how do we solve the first one? 47 rounded to the nearest 10. Remember the rounding rules? 7 is greater than 5. So 7 is greater than 5 should be. So our answer should be 50. How about this one? 29 rounded to the nearest 10. Rounding rules. Check the rounding rules. or less or greater, the whole number becomes the same. 9 is our answer, 5, so we have to round up. and our answer should be 9. Rounding to the nearest 665 and rounding to the nearest 100, how do we solve this question? When we are rounding to the nearest 10, we check the tens place. But now, and that is greater than 500, so our answer, the tens be 700. Now the last, the rounding. 5,700. That's some examples. Rounded to the nearest 1,000. How do we solve this 167? Yeah, I want to check at the hundreds. Now look at 67 is greater than 5. So we should the tens place is our answer should be 6,000. So our answer should be 600 to this lesson. And I hope 456 rounded to the nearest 100. Check the rounding rules. 5 or greater, round up. So in 56, in the tens place, there is 5. So we round up. Our answer should be 500. 846 rounded to the nearest 100. Check the rounding rules. 5 or less, the number remains the same. So 4 is less than 5. So the number remains the same. So our answer should be 800. Rounding to the nearest 1,000. When you're rounding to the nearest 1,000, check the hundreds place. So when you are checking the when we are rounding by 100, we were checking the tens place. But now we are checking the hundreds place. After that, apply the rounding rules. Some examples. 4,546 rounds to the nearest 1,000. Now check 546. We are checking at 5. 5 or greater, round up. So our answer should be 5,000. 6,756 rounded to the nearest 1,000. The rounding rules. 5 or greater, round up. So 7 is greater than 5. So our answer should be 7,000. The next one. 4,432 rounded to the nearest 1,000. Now how do we solve this? 4, 5 or less, round. The number remains the same. So 4 is less than 5. So the number remains the same. So our answer should be 4,000. So today we have learned how to round to the nearest 10, 100 and 1,000. Show me your learning. Here we have a few questions to answer. So how do we solve the first one? 47 rounded to the nearest 10. Check the rounding rules. 7 is greater than 5. So our answer should be 50. How about this one? 89 rounded to the nearest 10. Check the rounding rules. 5 or greater, round up. 9 is greater than 5, so we have to round up. And our answer should be 90. 665 rounded to the nearest 100. How do we solve this question? We have to check the rounding rules. We have to check the tens place, which is 6, and that is greater than 5. So our answer should be 700. Now the last one. 5,765 rounded to the nearest 1,000. How do we solve this question? We have to check at the hundreds place. 7 is greater than 5, so we should round up. Our answer should be 6,000. Thanks for listening to this lesson, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.